Commander Darius Wade maintained perfect posture as Ambassador Niara Kell's translator relayed her words. The iridescent carapace of the Viridian diplomat gleamed under the neutral lighting of the space station conference room, her fore-articulated limbs moving in precise gestures that punctuated her dismissive tone. Your species has barely mastered rudimentary faster-than-light travel. The translator spoke in flat tones. The Viridian Empire was establishing colonies across 3 star systems when your ancestors were still fashioning crude tools from stone. Wade felt his jaw tighten, but kept his expression neutral. 6 months of preparation for this first official contact, and within minutes it had devolved into a lecture on humanity's cosmic insignificance. Ambassador Kell Wade responded, the Terran Alliance acknowledges the Viridian Empire's impressive history. However, our claim to the Proxima Centauri system is recognized under Article 7 of the Galactic Concord, which your government signed 3 centuries ago. Niara's head tilted, compound eyes reflecting the holographic display between them. The multifaceted orbs seemed to shimmer with what Wade interpreted as amusement. The Concord applies to established spacefaring civilizations, Commander. Your kind barely qualifies. Her mandibles clicked rapidly. Laughter. Wade's cultural briefing had explained. Your colonies will withdraw from Proxima within 30 standard cycles or they will be removed. Lieutenant Sophia Nakamura, Wade's diplomatic attaché, leaned closer. Sir, this is a direct violation of... I'm aware, Lieutenant, Wade murmured before addressing the ambassador again. Perhaps we could discuss a collaborative approach to resource extraction. Proxima system has abundant materials beneficial to both our peoples. Niara turned to her entourage, triggering a cascade of clicking sounds, more laughter, shared at humanity's expense. The tallest Viridian, whose elaborate carapace markings identified him as War Commander Zevox, chittered. Something untranslated. War Commander Zevox finds your proposal charming, Niara translated herself. Like a juvenile offering to share its toys with an adult. Wade felt heat rising in his collar, but remembered Admiral Torres' explicit instructions. Avoid provocation. At all costs, we need time. Ambassador, surely diplomacy serves both our interests better than conflict. Niara's antennae twitched. Is that a threat, Commander Wade? It's an observation. History teaches that underestimating an opponent often leads to unexpected outcomes. The ambassador rose to her full height, nearly 2 meters tall. The Viridian Empire has encountered 17 emerging species in its expansion. All eventually recognized their place in the natural order. Her mandibles clicked softly. Your colonies have 30 cycles. This discussion is concluded. As the Viridian delegation departed, Nakamura exhaled loudly. That went well. Wade loosened his collar. Contact Admiral Torres. Tell her the Viridians are exactly as intelligence predicted. Arrogant and dismissive? Yes, and that's exactly what we need them to be. Wade watched the Viridian shuttle depart. Through the observation window, have Dr. Reeves accelerate Project Mirage. We've bought some time, but not much. You think they'll actually attack civilian colonies? Wade's expression hardened. They don't see us as equals, Sophia. To them, we're simply pests in their territory. He turned toward their own shuttle, and that's their first mistake. Later aboard the TES Defiant, Wade reviewed his report to Earth Command while the ship prepared to break orbit from the neutral station. Commander, Communications Officer Huang interrupted. Coming transmission from Sydney Research Division. Dr. Reeves is requesting to speak with you directly. Wade's expression softened slightly. Put her through to my quarters. When Fiona, Reeves' face appeared on the screen, her usual professional demeanor was replaced by barely contained excitement. Her auburn hair was disheveled, dark circles under her eyes suggesting days without proper sleep. Darius, we've had a breakthrough with the Mirage prototypes. They're adapting twice as fast as projected. Perfect timing, Wade replied. The Viridians gave us 30 days before they start removing colonies by force. Fiona's expression turned. Serious? Will that be enough time? It has to be, Wade answered. Because if it isn't, humanity's first interstellar war begins in 1 month. Intelligence Officer Marcus Donovan had spent 15 years learning to notice patterns others missed. Currently, the pattern troubling. him sprawled across 6 holographic displays in his secure office aboard the Tay's Indomitable. "It doesn't make sense," he muttered, manipulating data with practiced gestures. 3 weeks had passed since the Proxima incident. The Viridian Empire had reluctantly agreed to recognize humanity's territorial claims and establish formal diplomatic relations. On the surface, a stunning victory for the Terran Alliance. Yet something felt wrong. Computer overlay communication patterns from Viridian diplomatic corps against suspected infiltration incidents. The AI complied, revealing an unmistakable correlation. Donovan's dark eyes narrowed. He needed to take this directly to Admiral Torres. In the Indomitable's conference room, Commander Wade sat across from Ambassador Niara Cole, their meeting more cordial than anyone might have expected after recent events. "Your Mirage drone technology is remarkable," Niara conceded, her earlier condescension replaced by cautious respect. "The Viridian Science Directorate is most interested in potential applications beyond defense." Wade smiled diplomatically. "That would require a deeper technological exchange than our current agreement permits, Ambassador." Niara's antennae twitched with what Wade had learned was thoughtfulness rather than irritation. Perhaps the agreement could be ... expanded. Door slid open as Admiral Torres entered, followed by Marcus Donovan. The intelligence officer's serious expression immediately put Wade on alert. Ambassador Kel Torres acknowledged with a nod. "I apologize for the interruption, but Officer Donovan has uncovered information concerning both our governments." Niara's compound eyes reflected the room's occupants. "Proceed." Donovan activated a secure holographic display. Over the past 17 months, numerous security breaches have occurred within both Terran and Viridian secure networks. Initially, these appeared random or attributed to espionage between our factions. Images and data points materialized, connecting seemingly unrelated incidents. However, pattern analysis suggests a third party is responsible, Donovan continued. "Most concerning are biological anomalies detected in individuals with high-level access." He displayed medical scans of a human official, highlighting subtle neurological abnormalities, then similar scans of a Viridian. "We've identified 7 compromised individuals in our government," Torres explained, "based on communication patterns. We estimate at least 12 within yours." Niara's posture stiffened. "What is the nature of this compromise?" "Neural parasites," Donovan answered. "Microscopic organisms that integrate with the host's nervous system, influencing behavior while remaining undetectable by standard medical scans." "The Nexus Horde," Niara whispered, her voice uncharacteristically subdued. Wade leaned forward. "You're familiar with them?" "There are ancient warnings in our historical archives. Parasitic collective that infiltrates, subverts, then consumes. Civilizations from within." Her mandibles clicked rapidly in what Wade now recognized as agitation. "We believed them extinct or mythological." Donovan shook his head. "They're very real, Ambassador. And they've been manipulating both our species toward conflict." "Divide and conquer," Torres added grimly. "While we fought each other, they positioned themselves within our power structures." Niara's compound eyes fixed on Wade. "Your defensive demonstration may have disrupted their timeline. They typically engineer conflicts that weaken both parties before revealing themselves." Wade felt a chill run through him. "Where are they based? How widespread is the infiltration?" "Unknown," Donovan admitted. "But we've tracked suspicious communications." To the Deneb sector, Torres stood. "Ambassador Kel, I propose a joint reconnaissance mission. This threat concerns both our peoples." "Agreed," Niara replied without hesitation. "Where Commander Zvox will coordinate with your forces." "Actually," Torres interjected, "I recommend a smaller operation first. Maximum stealth, minimal personnel." She glanced at Wade. "Commander Wade has proven effective at improvising under pressure. Perhaps he could lead this mission alongside a Viridian counterpart." Niara's antennae twitched. "I will accompany him personally." Wade blinked in surprise. "Ambassador, with respect, this will be a high-risk operation, which requires someone intimately familiar with Viridian communication protocols and behavioral nuances," Niara countered. "I served in the Dominion Intelligence Corps for 60 cycles before entering diplomacy." Torres raised an eyebrow, but nodded very well. You depart in 12 hours aboard our stealth reconnaissance vessel, the Whisper. After the meeting, Wade found Dr. Reeves in her temporary laboratory aboard the Indomitable, adapting Mirage drones to detect neural parasites. You're going where? Fiona demanded when he explained the mission. With her? Wade caught the hint of jealousy in her voice and smiled despite the circumstances. Direct Admiral's orders? Fiona shook her head, auburn hair falling across her face. The same ambassador who called humans primitive and threatened our colonies? The same, Wade confirmed, gently tucking her hair behind her ear. Politics makes strange bedfellows. Poor choice of words, she muttered, but leaned into his touch. I've modified a batch of Mirage drones for detection purposes. They'll identify any biological anomalies consistent with the parasite signature. Wade pulled her closer, always saving me. Someone has to, she whispered before kissing him deeply. Knowing each mission could be his last, the Whisper lived up to its name, slipping through space virtually undetectable. Its specialized hull absorbed sensor sweeps, and its minimal energy signature blended with background radiation. Board Wade and Niara maintained an uneasy professional relationship during the 3-day journey to Deneb. Your species continues to surprise me, Niara admitted as they reviewed mission parameters. When we first met, I genuinely believed you primitive. Wade glanced up from the tactical display, and now I recognize that appearances can be deceiving. Her compound eyes studied him with unsettling intensity. Your adaptability is... impressive. High praise from a Viridian, Wade noted with a hint of amusement. Do not become accustomed to it, she replied. But her tone lacked its former hostility. As they approached Deneb, the ship's sensors detected a massive structure orbiting the system's fourth planeta. Ring-shaped installation that dwarfed anything either civilization had constructed. Active scanning would reveal our position, Wade murmured. Passive sensors only. Niara nodded in agreement, her attention fixed on the structure. Energy output suggests thousands of vessels docked within the interior. Like an invasion fleet, Wade concluded grimly. The Whisper drifted closer, using the system's debris field for cover. Wade deployed modified Mirage drones to gather intelligence without detection. Commander Niara said quietly, if these are truly the Nexus horde of our legends, neither of our civilizations can stand against them alone. Wade met her gaze. Then perhaps it's fortunate we're no longer enemies. Something shifted in her. Compound eyes respect, perhaps, or something more complex. Indeed. The surveillance drones returned with devastating confirmation. An armada of bioganic vessels unlike anything in Terran or Viridian records. Numbers sufficient to overwhelm both their combined fleets. We need to return immediately, Wade started, but alarms blared as the Whisper systems detected approaching craft. We've been discovered, Niara hissed. Wade made a split-second decision. Emergency jump protocol. Now as pursuit craft closed in, the Whisper's experimental drive engaged, tearing a hole in space-time and catapulting them toward Alliance territory, carrying evidence of a threat that would forever change the relationship between their species. The combined war council of humanity and the Viridian Empire would have been unthinkable 2 months earlier. Yet here they sat, former adversaries united by existential threat, reviewing the intelligence Wade and Niara had risked their lives to obtain. Admiral Torres stood at the head of the table aboard the neutral station Harmony Point, her silver-streaked hair pulled back severely. The Nexus Horde has assembled a fleet of approximately 3,000 vessels in the Deneb system. Based on their current trajectory and speed, they will reach the borders of Viridian space within 60 days. War Commander Zevox's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. As their infiltration strategy suggests, they expected us to weaken each other through prolonged conflict. A strategy we inadvertently disrupted, Dr. Fiona Reeves added. Standing beside a holographic display of modified Mirage drone schematics, the parasites communicate through subtle quantum fluctuations. We've adapted the drones to detect and disrupt these signals. Niara, now serving as both ambassador and intelligence liaison, gestured to the tactical display. Our combined fleets total 800 vessels. Even with superior technology, we cannot match their numbers directly. Wade studied the strategic projections. We don't need to match them. We need to outsmart them. All eyes turned to him. The Horde relies on neural control. Their ships, their weapons, all extensions of their collective consciousness. Wade highlighted. The ring structure in the DNEB system, this installation is their central nervous system. If we can disrupt it, ... We disrupt their entire operation. Torres finished, a smile spreading across her face. Commander Wade, I believe you've just identified our target. The following week saw unprecedented cooperation between humans and Viridians. Engineers from both species worked to integrate their technologies, while Dr. Reeves led a team developing a specialized version of the Mirage drones, designed to infiltrate and corrupt the Horde's neural network. The quantum entanglement properties are fascinating, Fiona explained to a mixed group of human and Viridian scientists. Once introduced to their system, the modified drones will replicate and spread, causing cascading failures in their command structure. In the station's fabrication center, Wade found her working alone late into the artificial night cycle, running simulations on her tablet. You should rest, he said softly, placing a cup of coffee beside her. Fiona looked up, exhaustion evident in her eyes. Says the man who hasn't slept in 3 days. He smiled, taking the seat beside her. Fair point. The integration with Viridian tech is working better than expected, she said, leaning against him. Their quantum manipulation abilities complement our adaptive algorithms perfectly. Wade wrapped an arm around her shoulders. Turns out, we're stronger together. Speaking of together, Fiona hesitated. You and Ambassador Cull seem to have developed quite the rapport. Wade raised an eyebrow. Are you jealous of an insectoid alien with mandibles? Don't be ridiculous, she muttered, but her tone suggested otherwise. I've seen how she looks at you with those compound eyes. Wade laughed softly, turning to face her. Fiona Reeves, you are the most brilliant, frustrating, beautiful woman I've ever known. When this is over, if we survive, I'm taking you to that Italian restaurant in New Geneva you mentioned? Her expression softened. Is that a promise, Commander? It's a date, he confirmed, kissing her gently. Across the station in the Viridian diplomatic quarters, Niara Cole studied human historical records, particularly their numerous instances of overcoming superior forces through unconventional tactics. Soft chime announced War Commander Zevox's arrival. You requested my presence, Ambassador? Yes, she replied, her compound eyes fixed on the historical display. I've been analyzing human military history. Their species has a remarkable tendency to prevail against overwhelming odds. Zevox's mandibles clicked dismissively. Through desperation and luck, through adaptation and innovation, she corrected. Qualities our empire has lacked in recent centuries. She turned to face him. We have become complacent, Zevox, set in our ways. Perhaps this alliance, however temporary, will benefit our people beyond mere survival. You sound dangerously progressive, Niara, Zevox warned. I sound practical, she countered. The Dominion has conquered through superior strength for millennia. Now we face an enemy where strength alone is insufficient? Zevox studied her for a long moment. You've changed since working with the humans, particularly Commander? Wade Niara's antennae twitched in what might have been embarrassment. He is ... not what I expected. Be cautious, Zevox advised. Admiration can lead to distraction. As can prejudice, she replied pointedly. The day of deployment arrived with tense anticipation. The combined fleet gathered at the jump point 2, Deneb, a magnificent sight of human and Viridian vessels arranged in formation, former enemies, now comrades in arms. On the bridge of the flagship Indomitable, Admiral Torres addressed the fleet. Today we face an enemy that threatened both our civilizations. Remember that what divides us is insignificant compared to what we share, the determination to exist freely among the stars. Wade stood at the tactical station, Fiona beside him, preparing to deploy the specialized Mirage drones. Across the bridge, Niara and Zevox represented the Viridian command. Jump coordinates locked, announced Captain Nazir. All vessels report ready. Torres nodded solemnly. Execute jump sequence. Space distorted as the massive fleet entered the Deneb system, emerging directly opposite the Horde's staging area. Immediately, enemy vessels began to mobilize, organic ships flowing like a disturbed insect colony. Deploy primary defensive screen, Torres ordered. Millions of standard Mirage drones spread outward, creating a shimmering barrier between the fleet and the approaching Horde vessels. Enemy weapons charging, reported Tactical Officer Chen. Impact in 5 seconds. The first wave of enemy fire struck the drone screen, energy dissipating harmlessly. Retaliatory pulses disabled dozens of Horde ships. Phase 1 successful, Wade confirmed. Preparing infiltration package. Fiona activated the specialized drones, which raced toward the massive ring structure, their microscopic size making them virtually undetectable. Viridian cruisers moving to position, Zvox reported. Preparing synchronized EMP burst to create distraction. The battle unfolded according to plan, the combined fleet maintaining defensive positions while the infiltration drones penetrated the Horde's central installation. Viridian quantum disruptors worked in concert with human adaptive systems, creating vulnerabilities the enemy couldn't anticipate. Infiltration successful, Fiona announced, monitoring the drone's progress. Neural network penetration at 60% and climbing. The first signs of the Horde's disarray became apparent as enemy vessels began moving erratically, some colliding with others. The collective consciousness was fragmenting under the assault of corrupted signals. "It's working," Wade said, allowing himself a moment of hope. Suddenly, alarms blared across the bridge. "Energy spike detected in the ring structure," Chen called out. "They're attempting to purge the infiltration." "Countermeasures," Torres demanded. Fiona's fingers flew across her console. "The drones are adapting, but they need more time." "We don't have time," Zvox growled. "Their main weapons array is powering up." Niara stepped forward. "The Viridian flagship can generate a quantum field to disrupt their purge attempt, but it would require direct proximity to the ring." "That's a suicide mission," Wade protested. Niara's compound eyes met his. "Sometimes, sacrifice is necessary for evolution, Commander. Your species taught mine that lesson." Before anyone could object, Niara transmitted orders to the Viridian flagship, which broke formation and accelerated toward the ring structure. "What is she doing?" Torres demanded. "Saving us all," Zvox answered, his tone mixing pride with resignation. The Viridian flagship plunged toward the heart of the installation, quantum disruptors at maximum output. The field it generated created the window Fiona's drones needed, infiltration reaching critical mass within the Horde's neural network. A blinding flash erupted as the Viridian ship impacted the ring structure, its quantum core detonating in a controlled cascade. Throughout the Horde fleet, ships began shutting down or flying aimlessly as their central command structure collapsed. "Neural network corruption at 100%, Fiona reported, her voice quiet with awe. Horde's collective consciousness is fragmenting. Across the view screen, mighty armada that had threatened to civilizations dissolved into chaos, a threat neutralized through unlikely cooperation. 3 months later, formal alliance treaty was signed aboard Harmony Point Station. Human and Viridian representatives gathered to witness what many had thought impossible, a permanent peace between their species. Commander Wade, newly promoted to captain, stood beside Admiral Torres as the documents were signed. Across the chamber, a Viridian delegation, led by War Commander Zvox, elevated to Supreme Strategist, represented the Dominion. Ambassador Kell would have been proud of this moment, Torres said softly. Wade nodded, remembering Niara's sacrifice. She understood before any of us that our differences were our strength, not our weakness. The Viridian flagship Eternal Dominance loomed like a predatory insect against the backdrop of stars, its chitinous-inspired design, all angles and segmented sections, dwarfed Commander Wade's diplomatic shuttle as it approached the designated docking port. "Their weapon systems are active," Lieutenant Nakamura observed, her fingers dancing across the sensor display.
Ultimately, multiple targeting locks.
"Intimidation tactic," Wade replied calmly, though his hand unconsciously touched the shield. "Generator in his pocket?" Fiona's gift. Maintain course. The shuttle shuddered as a tractor beam seized it, guiding it into the massive docking bay where rows of Viridian soldiers stood at attention, their exoskeletal armor gleaming under harsh lights. "Showtime," Wade muttered, straightening his uniform. Before the airlock cycled, Ambassador Niara Kalea awaited him, her posture radiating contempt. "Commander Wade, your return is unexpected. Has your alliance decided to accept reality and withdraw from our territory?" Wade maintained eye contact with her compound orbs. "Okay, Ambassador, I bring updated terms from Earth Command. We propose a phased resource sharing agreement that would your deadline expires in 14 hours, Niara interrupted. "Your colonies remain. This suggests your species requires a demonstration of Viridian resolve." Wade's communicator vibrated subtly against his wristband emergency signal. He maintained his composed expression. "Ambassador, I strongly advise against hostile action. There are families on those outposts." Niara's mandibles clicked dismissively. "A poor strategic decision on your part." War Commander Zivox approached, his armored carapace towering over both of them. He spoke directly to Niara in their clicking language, not bothering with translation. Wade's communicator vibrated again, more urgently. "Something was happening, Ambassador," he said firmly. "Whatever you're planning is already underway," Niara finished. "The research outpost on Proxima 4 is being neutralized as we speak. Consider it motivation for your prompt withdrawal from the remaining colonies." Wade's blood ran cold, but years of command training kept his expression neutral. "You've attacked a civilian target? We've removed trespassers." Zevok spoke through his translator for the first time, his tone metallic and cold. "Your diplomatic vessel will be detained until confirmation of the operation's success." Wade's hand closed around the shield generator in his pocket. "Ambassador Kell, War Commander Zivox, I formally protest this action under Galactic Concord. Article 12 concerning unprovoked aggression against non-military targets." Niara's antennae twitched in what Wade recognized as amusement. "The Concord does not apply to." She was interrupted by a Viridian officer rushing into the chamber. Mandibles clicking frantically, Universal Translator struggled to keep up. "Weapons and effective energy dissipation. Counterpulse feedback systems failing." Zivox turned sharply. "Explain." The tactical officer projected a hologram showing a Viridian cruiser firing upon the research outpost. Instead of the expected destruction, the energy beams dissipated against an invisible barrier. More concerning to the Viridians, pulses of energy seemed to travel back along the weapon's path, disrupting the cruiser's systems. "Impossible," Niara whispered, her composure cracking. Wade allowed himself a small smile. "The Mirage drones. Right on schedule." Across the Proxima system, Captain Tarek Nazir stood on the bridge of the TES Challenger, watching as the defensive strategy unfolded exactly as planned. The Viridian cruiser that had attacked the research outpost now drifted powerless, its weapons and propulsion systems offline. "Status of the civilian outpost?" he demanded. "Intact, sir," his tactical officer reported. The Mirage drone screen absorbed and redirected 97% of the Viridian energy weapons. Minimal structural damage to the outer research modules. No casualties reported. Nasir nodded, dark eyes fixed on the tactical display as Admiral Torres' voice came through the command channel. "All vessels execute. Pattern Delta. Deploy additional drone clusters at designated coordinates." The Terran fleet emerged from hiding positions behind Proxima's outer planets and moons, surrounding the Viridian attack force. Not through superior numbers, they were still outnumbered 3-1, but through strategic positioning enhanced by the Mirage drone technology. "Sir," Communications Officer Jensen called out, "we're receiving a transmission from Commander Wade's emergency channel. He's being detained on the Viridian flagship." Nasir's expression hardened. "Relay to Admiral Torres. Prepare extraction." Team Alpha. Back on the Viridian flagship, chaos had erupted. Officers rushed to battle stations as alarms blared throughout the massive vessel. "What is the meaning of this?" Niara demanded, her composure completely abandoned. "What have you done?" "We adapted," Wade replied simply. "Humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology, Ambassador. It's our ability to overcome limitations through innovation." War Commander Zivox loomed menacingly. You've planned this deception. From our first meeting, no deception. I genuinely sought peaceful resolution. Wade stood his ground. He forced our hand by attacking civilians. The ship shuddered violently. A voice announced over the intercom that multiple systems were failing across the vessel, victims of targeted Mirage drone infiltration. Your position is still hopeless, Zevox growled. Viridian Empire will bring its full might against your homeworld for this insolence. I don't think so, Wade countered. Your ships are currently surrounded, your weapon systems compromised, but we haven't fired a single shot. He stepped closer. This isn't an attack, War Commander. It's a demonstration. Another violent tremor rocked the ship as the lights flickered. The Mirage drones were systematically disabling non-essential systems, leaving life support and basic functions intact. You're not our enemy unless you choose to be, Wade continued. This technology you're witnessing is purely defensive. We developed it in less than a month after your threats. Imagine what else we might create if genuinely threatened. Niara's compound eyes reflected the emergency lighting as she studied Wade with new consideration. Your species is full of surprises, Commander. Before Wade could respond, a section of the hull disintegrated in a controlled breach. Through the momentary energy field stepped a squad of Terran Special Forces led by a grim-faced officer. Commander Wade, the leader acknowledged. Admiral Torres sends her compliments and requests your presence for the negotiation of new terms. Wade nodded, then turned back to the stunned Viridian leaders. Ambassador Cole, War Commander Zevox, I invite you to join us aboard the Taze Indomitable. I believe we have much to discuss about the future relationship between our peoples. Zevox's mandibles clicked slowly. You would have made a formidable Viridian Commander, Wade. I'm quite content being human, Wade replied. As you're beginning to discover, we have our advantages. Dr. Fiona Reeves squinted at the holographic display, where billions of microscopic machines swarmed like a silver constellation. Each particle, barely visible to the naked eye, contained more computing power than entire mainframes from the previous century. Simulation 17 complete, announced her assistant, Dr. Jabari Okafor. The Mirage drones successfully adapted to all known Viridian weapon signatures. Fiona tucked a strand of auburn hair behind her ear. Run it again with randomized variables. The Viridians might have technology we haven't encountered yet. 22 days had passed since Commander Wade's disastrous first contact. 22 days of sleepless nights and caffeine-fueled breakthroughs as Earth's best minds raced. Against an arbitrary deadline, the laboratory door hissed open, and Fiona's heart skipped when Commander Wade entered, still in his formal uniform from the emergency council meeting. Commander, she acknowledged, maintaining professionalism despite their growing personal connection. Your timing is impeccable. Wade's tired eyes surveyed the lab. Tell me you have good news, Doctor. Fiona gestured toward the swarm display. The Mirage drones are exceeding expectations. They can absorb energy weapons and adapt their defensive matrices with each encounter. She manipulated the display, showing a simulated Viridian cruiser. 1 drone is manageable. 10,000 are problematic. 1,000,000 becomes nearly impossible to combat using conventional weapons. Wade's expression lightened marginally. And deployment? We've manufactured enough to protect our Proxima colonies. Admiral Torres' ships can deploy them in defensive screens within 48 hours. For the first time in weeks, Wade smiled. You're a miracle worker, Fiona. Their eyes held for a moment too long before Jabari cleared his throat. Check. On production, he said, tactfully exiting. Alone, the professional facade cracked. Wade reached for her hand. You look exhausted, says the man who hasn't slept in a month, Fiona replied, squeezing his fingers. How was the council meeting? Divided. Half want to evacuate Proxima. The other half want to stand our ground. Wade moved closer. Admiral Torres has authorized defensive positioning, but we're still hoping for diplomatic resolution. Fiona snorted. From what you've told me about, Ambassador Call, diplomacy seems unlikely. Hence your miracle drones. Wade hesitated. We're mobilizing tomorrow. I'm not sure when I'll be back. The unspoken possibility hung between them that he might not return at all. Their relationship had blossomed in stolen moments during this crisis. neither planned nor expected, but increasingly precious to them both. "I have something for you," Fiona said, retrieving a small metallic cylinder from her desk. "Personal shield generator. Prototype only, but it might give you an edge if things go badly." Wade accepted it, his fingers brushing hers. "I have something for you too." He leaned down, pressing his lips gently against hers. The kiss deepened, a temporary escape from the looming conflict. "That's not regulation, Commander," she whispered when they parted. "I'll risk the court-martial," he replied, his voice rough with emotion. Across the solar system, Admiral Jasmine Torres watched from the bridge of the TES Indomitable as her fleet assembled at the jump point to Proxima Centauri, 27 ships, humanity's first interstellar defense force. "Status report," she commanded. Captain Nasir consulted his display. "All vessels report ready, Admiral. Mirage drone deployment. Systems are online and tested. Proxima defense grid is at 78% capacity and rising." Torres nodded, her silver-streaked hair pulled into a tight bun, dark eyes evaluating the tactical display. At 63, she had never expected to command humanity's first potential interstellar war. And the Viridians, no movement yet, Nasir reported. Their deadline expires in approximately 56 hours. Torres' expression remained impassive. "They'll move before that. Their psychology profile suggests they value dramatic displays of power. They'll want to catch us off guard." The communication console chimed. "Admiral, incoming message from Commander Wade. His shuttle is requesting permission to dock." "Granted. Have him report directly to the bridge." When Wade arrived 30 minutes later, Torres gestured him to her private ready room. "The Council has approved our defensive strategy," she informed him without preamble. "But they've added a condition: we attempt one final diplomatic outreach before the deadline." Wade's expression darkened. "The Viridians interpreted our previous attempts as weakness." "No, but this time you'll be negotiating from a position of strength." Torres handed him a data tablet. "Dr. Reeves' technology has given us options we didn't have before. Use them." Wade reviewed the mission parameters. "You want me to return to the Viridian flagship? After our last encounter? I want you to buy us time while we finish deploying the defensive grid." Torres' eyes softened slightly. "You've developed quite a relationship with Dr. Reeves." Wade maintained his composure. "She's a brilliant scientist, Admiral." Torres almost smiled. "Indeed, and apparently an inspiration. Your performance these past weeks has been exemplary under impossible circumstances." "Thank you, Admiral." "Don't thank me yet, Commander. 24 hours? You'll be face-to-face with Ambassador Cole again." Torres turned to the viewport, watching as another transport loaded with Mirage drones prepared to jump to Proxima. "Let's hope your diplomatic skills have improved since your last meeting." Wade's jaw tightened. "With respect, Admiral, I don't think diplomatic skills are what we need anymore." "Perhaps not," Torres agreed. "But they might give us the time we need to demonstrate what humanity does best." Which is, Torres finally allowed herself a small smile, adapting to overcome impossible odds.